If there's one thing I can get behind, is having kids' clothes come in all sorts of colours. Not just pink, not just blue, but any colour you can think of. Hey guys, welcome back to the show, welcome back to the diary. So yes, kids' clothing has always been a big problem for me. Growing up, I wanted to wear the boys' stuff because the boys' stuff was always made of cotton. It was always made of just not wool, not nylon, not silk, and it didn't have slutty kind of sayings on it, or it didn't have silly things like daddy's little girl, and it's like, well, I'm not really daddy's little girl, and I didn't really have said daddy around to boast about. So, having designs on girls' t-shirts, girls' clothing, being things like Bite Me, or just having those trousers and those shirts being so revealing. I mean, some of the trousers are a bit short. Granted, sitting on the hips is one thing, but having jeggings, no. Having no good pair of jeans that's not skin tight so you show off your legs. With my knee scars, having skin tight clothing can make my scars itchy, it can make my knees itchy, it can make it really irritating. So being able to go into the boys' stuff and be like, yeah, that is really good. And it was really good at the time as well, because at the time the only below the waist kind of clothing there was for girls was skirts or even dresses. That was it. It was like there was no real girly trousers, and even if they were, they had little flowers printed on them, or they were ankle height, and it's just, why? So at least having the clothes no longer being completely pink is really good, because then if it's just pink label or pink hood or pink accents, I don't mind that sort of thing. And when I say accents, I mean, say, like with this hoodie here, say this zip wasn't silver, it was pink, that would sort of be an accent sort of thing. It's just little bits of the hoodie, the design that's pink, or that's a certain colour. That sort of thing I don't mind. I don't mind the hint of it, but I don't want the entire thing that way. So now to have not just unisex colouring, but unisex clothes in general. I do have this hoodie. Like I said, this hoodie is a boy's hoodie, but as I've got one size smaller than I normally get in hoodies, it hugs. It kind of sits close to the body, so it could pass as a more girly hoodie, even though it is a boy's one, and it is maybe a bit bigger than it probably would be, or probably should be. But that's the thing, it's like, even though I don't mind that hugging to the body kind of style of the girl stuff, it's the material it's made from, it's the cut, it's the other bits of the cut and the other bits of the style. Like I mentioned shirts earlier, not just t-shirts, but long sleeved smart shirts. What is the point in having your sleeve come up to here, ladies? What is the point in that? Also, what's the point in the strange cuff as well? It's like companies want to allow girls to have their forearms cold or their forearms showing, and it's like, well, what's the point in that? Why? I mean, yes, the girls' shirts don't have to have such thick cuffs, because not every girl is going to want a fancy cuff link that goes inside the shirt cuffs, which is why a lot of boys' shirts are longer and have that thicker cuff. It's so that they can have the pretty cuff link. But you don't need to have it end here. I just never seen the point in that. And the same with t-shirts. Why have the t-shirt sleeve end up here? No, end it down this way a bit more. And the provocative kind of neck cut as well. That was one thing that bothered me. As much as I see the idea behind it, it's like, no, I don't like it. No. I can see why girls enjoy that sort of cut. It feels nice, it shows off everything, it keeps everything aerated, it keeps everything cool, and it gives guys something to look at. But that's the problem. With that kind of cut, aren't you promoting that sexual kind of design, that sexual idea of it? And looking at a lot of the teenage girls at the moment, I don't mean to like kind of victim shame or anything like that, but a lot of the time when a girl's had a problem with a guy touching their butt, touching their boob, or looking at them or talking to them or coming on to them, and it's a bit of an older guy, more often than not they are sort of wearing something slutty and they look way older than they are. Again, I'm not trying to victim shame, because there's no point in that, and if a girl has genuinely had a problem, she's genuinely had a problem. But you will see guys say, oh, she was asking for it, she was doing this, she was wearing that, I couldn't help myself. And that's what I'm trying to point out, is that behaviour of, oh, she was wearing this, I couldn't help myself. It's not about her choice of wearing it. It's about media saying, oh, you should be looking like this, ladies. You should be looking all hot and sexy and wearing next to nothing, or you should be wearing tight tops and tight tops that just come down just over your boobs, so that you show off your belly. It's like, media gets women to dress in a certain way, it gets boys to dress in a certain way as well, and media is kind of saying that boys should be muscly and should be kind of manly and everything like that still, and some boys are, some boys aren't, but it's also about sport. It's like, if a boy's not into sport, there's something going on, sort of thing. He's either not really a proper boy, or he prefers guys, sort of thing. But it's also with the girly stuff, if you're not wearing something slutty, you're either into other girls or you're weird. It's like, no, hang on a minute. I don't want to have that problem of a guy coming on to me that's like 10, 20 years older than me, thinking that I'm around his age, or say I was like 14 or even 12 for that matter, and I was dressing like media showing us to dress, or dressing in some of the stuff that there is out available in the shops to wear for girls at that age. I have noticed that a lot of young preteens and young teenagers look like a lot older teenagers. I've seen this one girl, must have been about 13, 14, and she was dressing as if she was 17, 18, and you can tell by her face and everything else. Now granted, me personally, no one believes I'm mid-20s. No one believes I'm mid-20s because of the way I look, so that's understandable, but it's not just the way your face looks, it's also about how you're dressing as well. So if there's one thing that I would also add in with the any colour for every child, whether you're boys or girls, is less sexualized clothing styles for women in particular. But no, I guess that's where I'm going to leave it today, guys, because I'm going to get off and finish off the Apex event stuff if I've got enough time, hopefully. But no, let me know down below. Not yesterday, last week's last video comments will be staying off because that is a very tricky subject and I don't want masses of fights. If anyone did get me slightly wrong in that video, I didn't mean to make you think anything bad or anything like that. What I was trying to say was, with certain comments you can say things like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this, we should be doing that, stop doing this, stop doing that, and it's really kind of and it's that I was pointing out. It's like, hang on a minute, because with society now, if you say something bad, something nasty or whatever, you can turn around and go, oh, it was a joke. That's what I was pointing out. It's like, are we kind of now stopping people having any kind of feelings, or are we stopping people having any kind of opinions on anything because we're all like about everything that comes out? Anything that could be controversial comes out, everyone gets bashed, and it's just like adult conversations, guys, adult conversations. But no, I will be doing what I can to make sure that the comments for this one are on. So yes, if you agree with the whole less sexualized, less provocative female clothing for children, then let me know down below. And yeah, that's it for me today, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. See ya.
Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another crime scene. Get a little bit of gasoline. Welcome to another crime scene.